Hello everybody, it is I, Kogon, but I'm only here for a short second because I am not casting, but I am the cameraman for all of the tournaments for the rest of today. And instead, your casters today will be Rook, Curie, and Lithy. Rook, introduce yourself.
Hello, hi, it's so good to be back again. Some of you might have seen me earlier around the convention or leading the Mount Parade here at the start. But now we're coming into what I love, which is some PvP action, and I'm looking forward to casting here with everybody today. I'm Rook, or Rookery if you don't know me, and I am a Final Fantasy XIV content creator. I love doing everything in this game, from casual, including RP, to hardcore content, and Crystalline conflict has become a huge passion of mine. I'm so excited here to be as well with my co-host, Lithy. You'll be able to catch both of us very soon in London on the CCRC EU Oceania stage. And Lithy, I'll let you introduce yourself if you'd like.
Oh boy, I mean, there's not too much to say. I do some shoutcasting here and there. Crystalline Conflict is up there on the list, together with things like League of Legends, Valorant, World of Warcraft, you know. Whatever people basically let me cast, I'm there for it. And I'm super excited to be on board here for this. We got two insane semifinals and, of course, the grand final of the LunarCon PvP tournament rolling up on us right now. It's gonna be amazing. And Rook, oh my god, we're going to London. It's gonna be so fun.
I know. It's real, and it's happening this month, which is still blowing my mind, but it's getting here closer and closer every day, and I can't wait.
That's gonna be so much fun. Anyway, is this the part where we talk about the teams and about the semifinals and all the fun that's awaiting us today?
Is it time for that?
It is time to introduce the teams that you guys will be casting for today, so I've switched it over, so go ahead and discuss the brackets.
Oh man, I mean, starting it off in the first semifinals, it's Copium Enjoyers versus Eldorado. And Rook, I heard there's some big names on those teams.
You know, a little something that you all might have heard of happened recently, you know, the other FanFest North America, in which we had Brian and Frosty on the stage commentating the action. And two of the players on Copium Enjoyers actually were part of the winning team over there for CCRC NA. That's Ice and Jung. These two are powerhouses. Ice playing that monk a lot of times, Jung on Ninja. Although we've seen them bust out some Gunbreaker as well here this weekend. So this is a powerhouse of a team. But I mean, they're going up against a team we're also hearing is really strong, Lithy, Eldorado.
Yeah, in general, Eldorado has a quite a reputation so far in this tournament for being one of the crazy teams. They beat out That Was Easy in the quarterfinals, and that is not exactly the game they were expected to win, because That Was Easy was a star-studded roster themselves. So Copium Enjoyers versus Eldorado is going to be an absolute banger of a matchup, and I can't wait to get into that. But of course, after that, we do have a second semifinal ready for you guys as well. It's Crystal Movers Corporate versus the Nine Lives.
Nine Lives. I wonder if they're all Makotes, Lithy. Do you think? I mean, that would really be a gift to all of us, and I can only hope we get to see it. But these two teams are also strong in their own right. I mean, we've seen some massive Dragoon plays from Crystal Mover Co. A lot of combos with those limit breaks that have brought a ton of power and just knocked their enemies out of the arena. But Nine Lives, they just don't die, Lithy.
I mean, they have 9 lives, so double tank, double healer is supposedly what they've been running through this tournament, and that's a piece of work. I'll just call it that. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. I kind of want to call it the Unstoppable Force versus the Immovable Object. We'll see how that one turns out later on. But first, we gotta get into Copium Enjoyers versus Eldorado, because that is an absolutely insane one. And I'm really curious if our FanFest champions can pull out a win here.
I mean, they have already proven themselves, and even here over this weekend, I mean, this was a competition that, again, was open to players of all different experience levels, which is part of what's so great. We need to be getting new people into the scene, and veteran players have to remember that, hey, this is a space where we just want to see it grow, we want to see it flourish. So getting together both veterans and new players has meant that here for LunarCon this weekend, maybe the pressure is a little lower, but that doesn't mean that any of these teams have been fighting any less hard for these victories, Liffy.
I mean, is Copium and Joyous fighting harder for it, or El Dorado? I don't know. Both? Both is good.
Both?
Yeah,
both
is good.
Both is good. Don't get out of here with your El Dorado animated film reference, Liffy.
Don't worry, I'll get my ukulele, and then we'll pop off for real. Anyway, we're going into the first map, ladies and gentlemen, and of course everyone in between. Welcome to the LunarCon PvP tournament grand final weekend. We're into the semifinals between Copium and Joyous and El Dorado, and look at those plates. Oh my god, yes! It is perfect.
Paving the way to that golden city of victory. Love to see it. And for anybody who's just tuning in for the first time with the tournament this weekend, this will be a best of 5 for both the semifinals and the finals. The maps are being picked by the actual order right now of the Duty Finder list. So we're starting with Palestra. They will be working their way down, but this is going to be a really, really explosive first match for us to get into, Liffy.
Vamos! 15 seconds on the clock. We do have a warrior tank, plus double healer, plus 2 DPS on the side of El Dorado. For the other team, Copium and Joyous running single healer with quadruple DPS, a bard, and a black mage. That is a bold move. I'm very, very curious how Copium and Joyous are going to be able to stay alive on this one, Rook.
I mean, they are going to have to do what they can to outlast, but they have so much DPS that if they can just bring that heat, like we saw several of these members do on Team Wolfus, if they can just absolutely focus in that DPS and get those picks, it might be enough to just overwhelm this strong sort of defensive and offensive front that we see over on El Dorado.
Yep. And, of course, Young Dade in the front row, but the damage is going out immediately, full down to a half, but the damage is traded on both the Dragoons here for the moment, at least. The guard is coming out, the Crystal contested, but not the main focus. Healer down for Copium and Joyous, and they're pulling back immediately. Got to eye up that elixir. It looks like El Dorado is taking the upper hand here for the start.
El Dorado is holding strong. They've got this Crystal. It's sort of cheating towards the way that silence hits Vento and Giga, though. They're able to get through that, still stay alive, falling back a little bit here to try and make sure that they can regroup. We have this limit break up on Giga as well as over on Calamus. We have a death hitting over on El Dorado, losing that Scholar. Here goes that White Mage limit break, and it takes out Giga!
That's a big laser if I've ever seen one. It's gonna net them nothing in return at the very least, though. So unfortunate moments here. The Wild Black Mage, in the meantime, down for the count. On the other side, Raspberry has their LB up and ready. And I am a big fan of even bigger laser. Down goes Young. And another member minus here at the moment for our friends on Copium and Joyous. It looks like El Dorado is actually getting the upper hand here. Another kill claimed.
Just like you were saying, that sort of powerhouse that they're bringing here with El Dorado, we've heard so much about how strong this team is, and they are proving exactly why. They are not faced by this aggressive DPS. You know, falling back a little bit here, Silence has that sleep as well on them. These limit breaks are sitting here unused. Terra looking for an option as they kind of push this Crystal around the corner, having to try and duke it out with Big Fish on the point, seeing if they can get that guard popped, and it does pop up over there with Ice, the Big Fish himself. Lots of guards popping here on the point right now as that Dragoon limit break rains down from on high. No picks directly. White Mage limit break to follow up over from Copium and Joyous, but as another Dragoon limit break launches from the sky, Terra is going to fall.
That is a dead Scholar if I've ever seen one. Well, moving on in the meantime. Calamus looking for a little bit of a drink, getting the elixir on. In the meantime, Copium and Joy is going to be on the forefront here a little bit, punishing the aggression, punishing the push. But it did cost them all 5 of their LBs. On the other side, we are working up on the White Mage Laser for Calamus here for the moment, as Young, once again, gets sent back to the fountain. The re-engage from EO is in, and that's a warrior charging for some blood here right on the point. Crystal still not on the checkpoint, so upper hand still remaining in the hands of El Dorado. The guards are coming out. They're winning one fight after the other, and it's not looking great. It's really starting to look like the single healer is not keeping up as well as Copium and Joyous were hoping.
You know, it's interesting though, because here we're looking at these percentages. We've got Copium Enjoyers over here with that 50%. Meanwhile, El Dorado having that 33. So even though they are able to hold their own, they're getting this, they're going to have to try and push this crystal here. We're getting down to 1 minute 26 on the clock. So they need to get it around the corner. They need to match that so they're in a comfortable place as overtime starts to kind of get closer and closer. And it looks like they're going to be okay.
We'll see about that, and we'll see about the OK in just a second here. The LBs are up and ready. Ice and Giga do have those available. Veloce looking for the Grand Cross. That could be devastating in a grouped-up team fight. There it is! The Red Mage LB coming in hot. Good damage. Raspberry immediately taken down in Young. Taking a lot of damage. Vento down to a half. The heals are non-existent, so the Samurai might just fall. There he goes. Down is the Blade Master.
The damage is just unrelenting. Giga getting focused down and falls immediately. Jung silenced, not able to actually use that Dragoon limit break here to turn the tides. Falling as well. Yeah, Raspberry has respawned, but most likely isn't going to push in as Eyes is trying to pop this guard, contest it, hold them out with 33 seconds on the clock, falls before he can make it to that potion and is not going to be able to contest this any longer. Copium Enjoyers, they need a second here, but as we get closer to overtime, El Dorado is going to start getting this advantage. We have another chance for a group encounter, and they are looking to line this up, Liffy. They've got a few limit breaks popping over on Copium that are ready to go, that they're going to unleash, I think, here in just a second.
Indeed, Dragoon LB, Samurai LB, those could be a massive hits, and you immediately see, for the moment, El Dorado pulling back, taking a little bit of a breather as we are heading into overtime. They know they have the point advantage, so they just need to clean the crystal from the enemy stain. And that is not going to be an easy fight to take here for the Copium Enjoyers. There is El Dorado going in. Dade immediately down to half, gets taken down! Dade is gone, that's it. Dragoon LB unused, 4 members left. Vento down to 10%, also gets murdered on the spot. Raspberry needs to do everything they can to keep their team alive. They need to stick up to the point, but it's 2 guards out immediately. Engage coming in from EO, and they're just cleaning house. El Dorado wins Palestra.
El Dorado, they really are ready for this adventure. They are ready to set out into the unknown and face it and find their victory. I mean, even up against Copium Enjoyers with 2 of our finals, with 2 of our champions from CCRC NA on that team, they are absolutely cleaning house, Liffy. I mean, that was an incredibly powerful showing. Even at that last moment when they knew, hey, you have to get that crystal all the way back across. We'll just bide our time. We'll wait until you're in the open and until you have to deal with what we're setting up. And they managed to just land it and bring that match to a close.
Yeah. I'm very impressed by how clean El Dorado is playing this. The shot calling, especially the strategic awareness to use the advantage they have in terms of crystal progress in overtime. It's just perfect. So for a team that came together 2 weeks ago, basically, for this tournament all together, this is a very impressive showing, and considering that Copium Enjoyers has some literal FanFest champions on their team, it's an impressive performance. But of course, we got to talk a little bit about the comps here as well, because I do think there's some things that Copium Enjoyers can change up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you have the raw power to do a mostly DPS comp, and you're very, very good at either having a shot caller that knows exactly where to pinpoint those weaknesses and focus that damage, then even comps that have 2 healers and a tank will melt before you. But if that comp is just able to hold their ground, if they are able to replenish, if they are able to combo, particularly we saw that White Mage limit break hitting all the time. We saw a lot of those sort of combo plays that they were setting up over with El Dorado. And if you can't get those picks, then you are the ones that are going to be melting. You're the ones that are going to get chained in, laser beamed down, cleaned up with the DPS. You know, it's something where we saw El Dorado playing to their strengths with that composition and really presenting an unshakable front. Now, with this, though, the teams are going to have to shift up at least one of their players, because we do want to make sure that everyone that signed up for the competition here, since this is a community event this weekend, have a chance to play. So we're going to see some swaps here, possibly as well with the comps, making sure that everyone gets a moment to come in, give it their best shot, and compete. And that could change things for us here a little bit, Liffy.
Yeah, of course. Also, we're heading to different maps now, right? So that's coming in as well in terms of adaptability. Once you head into the other maps that are a little bit more, I'm just going to call it interactive, right? Especially if I'm thinking about Volcanic Heart, which is going to be the next one for us here. The bombs, the extra orbs you can pick up. There's a lot that can go wrong, even if you are playing a little bit of the safer comp that Eldorado is running with the tank double healer, right? So it definitely remains to be seen if Copium Enjoyers can kind of find their footing again, kind of get warmed up and get into the series, because it's far from over. It's a best of 5 after all.
Best of 5, so there are plenty of opportunities for this to shift. And like you said, Volcanic Heart is one of those maps where those opportunities present themselves more often than not. We've even seen with, previous things, even recently with our CCRC, Oceania, and EU that we had with our quarterfinals, which was broadcast live on the Final Fantasy XIV channel. If any of you want to check out those VODs and prep yourself for London this month, we saw that Volcanic Heart can be a map that certain teams just absolutely know how to play around. And if it plays to their strengths, then they will be able to set up a lot of things, particularly with CC, with taking advantage of those buffs that you get when you pick up those orbs, that can really make a difference. So this may be a map that just plays more to Copium's advantage.
Quite honestly, Volcanic Heart is just one of those maps where all the good plays, all the mistakes, all the finer details, they all come bubbling up to the surface for us all to enjoy. It's gonna be great. And of course, I love some explosive bombs. This is my favorite map after all, so hey, we are getting hot over here. Let's see those glams. Oh my god, Copium Enjoyers definitely huffing deep with those masks.
No, Liffy. They're trying to keep from huffing deep, They're trying to make sure that they don't inhale all of the fumes that this volcanic magma is putting out into the arena. Although, with them being Copium Enjoyers, you think they'd just take the mask off and just inhale all the copium they could possibly want.
No. The copium tanks are mounted to their backs, and it's like...
Oh, is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. As somebody who is a bit of a copium enjoyer myself, I would have thought I would have already advanced my technique to this point, but I'm learning so much even just watching these two teams right now, Liffy.
Yeah, you didn't strike me as that desperate yet, so I'm not surprised.
Great, then I'm covering it up excellently.
Very good. Anyway, Copium is one thing that helps, Hopium is the other thing, but playing well, that helps the most, and that is exactly what the Copium Enjoyers need to do as we are heading into the second map, onwards to Volcanic Heart. 10 seconds until the crystal is open, and immediately Eldorado is looking for some engages. They find Sneer and they take him out! Oh my god, the damage is insane. Ice now on the Monk, taking a good chunk of damage here as well. Raspberry looking for a little bit of damage, but Eldorado immediately taking control of the crystal.
They are absolutely going for those picks. They're going to get them first. They're still running 2 healers, but they are still going for it. Eyes getting so low. Silence on Jung. That health is gone, and Jung is gone. Immediately falling. Vento now taking the focused fire here from Eldorado, trying as much as possible to just keep this crystal stalled. But that stun is going to take them out, and Raspberry is going to be soon to follow. They're trying. They're burning through that MP. They're trying to heal themselves, but that health is gone.
Oh no, this staggers, look at it. 3 people up, healer on 6 seconds remaining. This is a nightmare scenario right now for the Copium Enjoyers. Eldorado bowling on the court here at the moment. Spool looking for a little bit of an engage. You can see Young taking over the crystal here with the guard, but that's a defensive already out of the equation. And there it is, the laser. Yes, it's just, yeah. No guard, you get laser. That's how it works in Crystalline Conflict. You're dead. Go home, back to the fountain.
Welcome to my favorite class, White Mage Laser. Blood for the Blood Lily, but that was powerful there, and we still have 3 limit breaks over on Eldorado. Sneer and Vento down currently on Copium, but they're not going to let it end, though. They're going to drop the Dragoon limit break onto Raspberry, eating away at that mana and taking Raspberry's life.
Triple kill already for Fool. It looks like, for the moment at least, the Copium Enjoyers do not find their footing. They can't recover. They keep getting staggered. Although they are managing to keep the crystal in place for the moment. So the return damage and the return members they are throwing at these fights is working out. They finally take down Terra. And with that, everything seems to be even out a little bit more. 2 more people with the guards on the crystal. it's really looking solid, at least for the moment, for the Copium Enjoyers. They're starting to come back, but there is the big laser, and Kolamus is looking to turn the tables.
Looking into the tables, but it is just damage on damage. We have these fire effects going out across the arena now. We're going to see those orbs dropping as well, but the damage is just not letting up. There goes that ninja limit break, but is it going to get anything? We see Veloce dropping low over on El Dorado, and Veloce does fall there with that. But, I mean, Copium has a lot of work to do here, Lithy. They are dancing around this point, trying to get on and off. Guards aren't popping to try and contest the crystal. Rather, they're just going for kills right now. But they are the ones being killed over on Copium. Eyes attempting to pop that last-minute defense. Able to get a bit there, able to stay alive, stunning, leaping in, trying to take down Io, but isn't going to get that kill as Io falls back.
Io falls back, and with the other two members down, it really looks like Copium Enjoyers are starting to turn the fight around. Crystal back to neutral, at least for the moment. Everything just snowballed off of that one shot of Veloce. Yes, that cost them 2 limit breaks, but both Ice and Vento have them back already, basically. Io has the primal screen, that's gonna come in immediately, no guards, and the laser follow up the Whisper combo! Oh my goodness! Sends Sneer home. 13 seconds on the timer there as El Dorado looks to run down Copium.
Kolamas is on fire. It's not just this map that is, but Kolamas is just absolutely pairing in. Raspberry can't stand up to it over on White Mage on the opposite team with Copium falling down. Sneer down as well. We have those heavies, those silences hitting Eyes. Jug also having to deal with this, taking massive damage as Veloce unleashes that limit break across the arena and immediately going down after Eyes, having that unfortunate stun, unable to get away, trying to fall back. I mean, El Dorado is just clearing the way ahead here, and Copium, they keep trying to regroup, but it's not a chance El Dorado's going to give them.
Oh, they're running them down. 10% HP here, barely remaining for Vento. Down goes the Samurai once again. And the stagger continues. Sneer now back up, looking to go back in, finds Kolamus, forces the guard, and they're back on the crystal. But how much work can they actually get done here without any LBs? One available here. Once again, Kolamus has that big laser, has been so precise with those. Once again, it comes out, and they find a kill with it. It's just so efficient what El Dorado is presenting here.
El Dorado has a tight-knit offense and a strong defense, but as it is, they're not having to defend themselves that much as Raspberry falls before them again. Terra taking a lot of damage, though, MP out, and they do get that kill. Eyes finally bring in the spooky, haunting energy to linger here and get a little bit of progress on this crystal. We are officially in overtime, so Copium has to stay on, but that Dragoon limit break is going to make that next 2 impossible, taking 2 out. That Ninja and Samurai limit break not going to be in play here, although Sneer does drop that, looking for a bit of a Dragoon kill to try and buy time. It's not going to happen, and no guard is going to save them as that focus fire comes in, taking out Ice. Sneer next in the line of sight. Veloce dropping the limit break. Sneer so close to death, trying to duck around the corner, trying to line of sight, has barely any health, and it dies to a tick while back on the runway.
Oh no, Raspberry down as well, but last moment save from Jung and Vento. They're on the crystal, they have the guards out, but they need to dip around and pop and weave a little bit around this whole thing as the damage just keeps on barreling through. They are staggered like hell. There is no way they can pull this out. It is at least what I would be thinking. Eyes now on the point, might have the guard available, might be able to delay this a little bit more, might be able to grab the few seconds that Copium needs to regroup, refocus, and return to the fight, but it's not working out for the moment. Eyes down to half, the Meteor Strike going in, looking for some damage, but can't find the kills, and there they are, off the crystal. El Dorado, they've reached the City of Gold. Now they need to take the treasure home in Game 3.
They are looking for it. Game 3 really will be the Hall of the Century. They will have defeated Copium if they are able to land this third match. We'll have to see what happens, but Lithy, I just can't see how Copium, even as they huff all the Copium that they can to try and deal with what's being thrown at them, I just can't see how they're going to secure a victory.
I'll be honest with you, Rook. It's starting to look dire for Copium Enjoyers. Like, I like the game plan they're bringing in. I like the shot calling, the mid-fight adjustments, the way they are able to stall the crystal. It's working so well until like halfway through the game, where El Dorado starts overwhelming them. They start to find these kills. They start to stagger them. And from there, Copium enjoys they're just crumbling. They're unable to come back. And this is kind of the point that Copium Enjoyers, for me at least, needs to attack. They need to find a way to stay alive and stay coordinated a little bit more, to avoid these staggered deaths and taking every single fight with numbers disadvantages.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be huge for them. They need to be able to line up these attacks that they can unleash. As it is, going down with those limit breaks unused in key moments like we saw there at the very end of that round. It was brutal. 2 things they could have tried to use to turn the tides, but El Dorado wasn't going to give them the chance. And in this best of 5, they have one more shot to be able to bring this together. Now, we know that these teams do need to, at some point during their matchup, swap in a player. So, again, this is something that may change. But, Lizzie, do you think we're going to see a comp shift here? Do you think they're going to try and maybe adjust, or are they going to stick with this group that they have been running with this strong DPS and kind of use that as hopefully the anchor to gain some leverage here?
Quite honestly, I think they're going to stick to their guns, basically. I think the 4 DPS 1 healer comp can work out. It is mostly the adjustments towards kind of not getting staggered that need to be made. Maybe pull back even harder to be able to reset. A map like Cloud9 or, of course, Clowntown that are coming up next will make that a little bit easier. Volcanic Heart is fairly small, so the enemy team can run you down very easily once you are staggered. With a map like Cloud9, it is a lot harder until the crystal is close to the finishing point, which we've not really seen so far at all. So, we're heading into the last map. Once again, it is Copium Enjoyers versus El Dorado. Match point. You got one shot, Rook. One opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted. That grand final spot. Are they going to seize it, or are they going to let it slip?
You know, I'm really hoping that they'll seize it. We know that this team has some strong powerhouses on it. We know that Copium Enjoyers, we've got those vets of CCRC and A. We know that they are not any kind of players to just let these opportunities fall through their fingers. But of course, you're playing as a team in this game mode. So they have to come together and find, and it looks like they have decided to swap a little bit over here. We do see that Gunbreaker coming out, which we knew that they had in their back pocket from other matches this past weekend. And also we have this Black Mage coming in. I don't know, Lizzie, do you think this is going to make the difference for them?
Ooh, I mean, it's a big change in terms of comp, so that could be kind of the last string pulling at the scales. And hey, Young has been putting on quite the performance. The big thing I'm watching out for is Sneer getting one shot in the opener. If El Dorado can pull that off once again on map 3, that's going to be a massive start and momentum boost to them.
It will. And you know what also is a huge momentum boost? The portrait game. And I see chat very much praising the coordinated effort from El Dorado. So we'll be sure to pass along that praise. It's been good to see. But there's a lot that's about to happen here between these two. And this is the final showdown. Copium has to get this one or they will be out of the running, and it's not looking good. Sneer already going down. Raspberry as well, taking a lot of damage, trying to hang back, trying to pop some of the resources at their disposal to stay alive. Ice trying to get this kill over here on Columbus, but deciding instead to push back to the point and attempt to put some pressure on.
Not gonna lie, Rook, I think it's Velocis Horse Mask that's making all the difference over here. Ice getting one shot, oh my goodness, gets trampled by the hooves. No way to go other than back to the fountain, and Giga is next on the docket. Down goes the Black Mage. 3 people left alive, and the push is finally gonna come through for El Dorado. They got the momentum, they got the wind in their sails, and they are heading homewards with all the treasure.
They are going to be headed home champions at this rate, and they are giving chase, going all the way around the corner here, forcing Raspberry to pop that guard. The guard's not going to save you, friend. I'm so sorry. You're going to get out there, and Eyes having to immediately fall back around the corner here, popping that elixir. They're trying to see if they can get a group together. They still have time, everyone. At 3 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. They only have 9% on the crystal, but they're leaping in now, trying to get a little bit of an advantage here.
Got in the first, and the Gunbreaker might be able to showcase some DPS over here. Sneer taking a lot of damage, but it's a healer down already on the side of Eldorado, so they are pulling back, resetting the fight, and it looks like, yup, there's a little bit of a turbulence coming through. Copium and Joy is pulling back just in time for that, not to be stuck in combat, basically, while they're getting blown away by the winds. Re-engage, Colamus pops the laser once again.
The laser play. They are not going to let Calamus get away with it anymore, though. Eyes is furious, coming across, trying to make Calamus just get out of the way. Terra has this Scholar limit break hanging back right now, looking for a good opportunity, or if they even need to use it, as everyone avoids the tornadoes that are sweeping the field here and can cause some extra damage. A little bit of a dance around. We see a bind going out, Sneer having to pop this guard to try and stay alive to make sure that they are all right. Fool going down in this exchange, though, as Eldorado for once is on the back foot, deciding that they're going to just take their moment now to regroup, just like we saw Copium Enjoyers doing not too long ago.
It's once again this little mid-game spike from Copium Enjoyers where they start to take some momentum, push back the crystal. They got it to the checkpoint, but now they need to stay alive. Sneer not understanding the mission here. It gets one-shot by the overwhelming force that Eldorado is bringing to the table. And from here on out, it's not going to get any easier. Ice has the LB, the big laser from Colamus once again, hitting 3. Might be able to follow that up. Ice still alive, still kicking, gets kicked out of the tournament here almost. It is match point after all. You gotta stay on the crystal. 1 minute 40 left to go, and Eldorado is taking over once again.
Eldorado let them get it to 50% this time around. You know, like you were saying, Lithy, there's that sort of mid spike that we've been seeing from Copium Enjoyers. But as this crystal swings back to mid, as it continues its progress, and we have 1 minute 22 left on the clock, this is when the pressure is going to start heating up. They do not want, Copium does not want Eldorado to get much more progress on this crystal, or they're going to have to swing it all the way back and contest. Our wins are going to be going up in a second. Terra taking that, everybody's guards going out as they try to see who's going to take the extra damage. Dragoon limit break going up for Fool. It's going to descend as everyone else may as well, but no huge hits yet that I could see from it. Eyes going down though in this exchange.
Raspberry with a good laser, but they can't really follow it up. The Primus Scream from EO was absolutely massive, and here goes Colamus! 4-man hit by that thing. The damage is insane. Sneer struggling to stay alive. Raspberry has all the heals. Now the Dragoon LB coming in, and he's gonna jump it all the way to the bank as Fool is taken down. But still, the fight is ongoing, and Copium Enjoyers are finally making some grounds. They have the advantage of the closer spawn, so they will have the numbers advantage in just a second here as Ice returns, and we're heading into overtime. 20 seconds left on the clock. Rook Sneer looking for some damage, and they're finding Veloce.
They were finding Veloce, but Veloce does manage to escape. That damage, though, is still chasing them as they try to get out of the fray, get back to the crystal. They don't have much mana left, and they are gone instantly. Copium is taking this back in overtime, pushing it towards their side. But as we've seen with Eldorado, they know how to bide their time in overtime. This crystal's coming across. Eyes is going to try to disrupt their gather, though, binding them, doing some damage, trying to focus out Calamus. Calamus has this limit break. Scholar limit break going out from Terra. Calamus getting on the point, unleashing it across, but Io goes down in this exchange. Raspberry 1-for-1, a kill on either side. Fool falling immediately after over on Eldorado, though. Right now, Copium has the advantage.
Well, almost down on half MP already. Ice disrupting the elixirs from Eldorado might just win them the match, but for the moment, they are struggling to stay alive. 2 members down for Copium Enjoyers. The guards come out from Colamus, but 2 members down here as well. It's a teeth and nails fought battle on the crystal. Overtime still ongoing. It is Copium Enjoyers that need to push on. They need a few more percentages on the checkpoint, and slowly but surely the crystal is moving. This time around though, the spawn advantage on the side of Eldorado. They will be grouped up much faster, but Colamus might be the one to fall. Big heals coming through, topped off almost the damage. Veloce with the Grand Cross trying to find the damage. The healer down on Copium's side, and Sneer might be the next to fall. Rook, this is getting down to the wire.
Sneer down. The wire is here, but they have to stay on it. I mean, 50% on either side, but El Dorado has had the advantage, and unfortunately, that White Mage Limit Break is gonna just wreak havoc on Copium as it has been over and over. We still have Foolproof with this Dragoon Limit Break as well. Might be looking for an opportunity to just bring this to a close, but Raspberry coming back to the point right now. Giga barely staying alive. That Black Mage is not good at that sustain. The Crystal's gonna keep going across, and El Dorado still has a limit break in their pocket. Scholar almost on the way, though that Black Mage limit break, I just don't think it's going to be back in time. The Crystal is making it all the way to the point, but Jung is trying to get there. He does get on, and he's able to, but the Dragoon limit break is going to absolutely decimate anyone else coming in from Copium.
Oh, Raspberry down for the count. They are absolutely not jamming in this match as one more team member is gonna fall. Young taken to the cleaners, and El Dorado, they got the big shields, they got the big dam, they got the big wins, and they got the big ticket to the grand final.
Well done, El Dorado. That was each match we saw that Copium, they were setting aside the Copium, they were focusing on reality. They were bringing it home. They were gonna make that dream a reality, but it just wasn't enough. So close here, that 0.1% each match as they got closer and closer. But El Dorado, even here, even in those final moments, just said, you know what? We were bringing home the treasure. We were the ones that are on our way to that city of gold, and we are going to be pushing on to the finals. So they will be our first of our semifinalists to secure a spot in our finals. They will be facing off with whoever is the winner between Crystal Mover Co. and 9 Lives coming up. But Liffy, what do you think about that matchup we just saw?
That was absolutely insane. Very, very impressive performance here from Copium and Joyous. It's changing around the comp for Game 3, almost able to pull that win out. But ultimately, just not good enough to stand up to the powerhouse that El Dorado is. So we'll say goodbye to Copium and Joyous. Big GGs, though, for a fantastic performance they've put on here on the LunarCon PvP tournament. And, of course, Rook, we can head right on into the next semifinals. We're not messing around. We got Crystal Movers Co. versus 9 Lives. The immovable object is gonna meet up with the unstoppable force. I cannot wait to find out which team is gonna take this.
This is really going to be, I think, one of the most interesting matchups that we'll have seen all weekend. Because just like you said, both of these teams have very different strategies, and they both excel very well at what they do. And yet, these seem like the two strats that would cancel each other out. We have Crystal Mover Co. with a very strong veteran player here on Dragoon, who is incredibly skillful in the combos that will be unleashed, hopefully, over the course of the match with Limit Break. So that big damage, that good team coordination, and the Dragoon raining down from on high, doing Halone proud, unleashing those spears to decimate their foes. Meanwhile, 9 Lives, just like their name suggests, are sort of the unmovable force, the unkillable, if you will, constantly finding another life, because they oftentimes have been running 2 tanks and 2 healers, which is not something that we have been seeing as often in competitive PvP as of late. Now, this is a definitely strong choice if you can anchor it down and if you can prevent those kills from happening. And so far, just like you said, their unmovable force, their unmovable object will be a pretty daunting thing for the unshakable force of Crystal Mover Co. to try and burn down.
I am so curious. Just the idea of having to play against double tank, double healer just seems so nasty. I am very curious to see what Crystal Movers Co. is going to do against it. Of course, we've already seen kind of the Warrior Dragoon ult combo, the Limit Break combo, played out quite nicely by El Dorado, right? So we have seen a taste of what that could do. So I'm really curious to see how that is going to go. 9 lives, that's how much they need to beat them down before Crystal Movers could move on. But on the other side, hey, cat-like reflexes usually help out. As we are heading into the second semi-final of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, it's Crystal Movers Co. versus 9 Lives. And look at those glamour plates.
Oh, you love to see it, matching the LunarCon colors, bringing it together. I see chat just going absolutely wild, particularly cheering on Alicia and Sarah. You've got this. I see some shout outs as well for Ion. And you know, I have to give it as well to Nine. Living up to their name. We've got the Mover Co., we've got the Cats. They are facing down, and honestly, by portraits, either team could win.
I mean, I appreciate Cash the most with the hoodie with the cat ears. So that's just peak glamour. Anyway, why is that guy naked?
You don't ask that question in Final Fantasy 14.
Right. Never mind me. Never mind me.
You just don't question it. Ruja can do whatever they feel like, and I'm sure they will as we get in here. We are now seeing a little bit more of a balanced comp coming out over here with Crystal Mover Co. So they are bringing some of those healers, the tank. They're bringing that DPS. We don't even see a Dragoon over out. Already, Crystal Mover Co. is moving their way to victory, getting a pick over on 9 lives. We've got map play going off as well. Nobody's going to get flipped yet, though, as Sarah has to fall back around the corner, back to the point, trying to get a look in here. We're 1 for 1 right now, Lithy, already.
Yep, it's not looking great for the health bars at the moment, but the big heals are going to come through. Pasta making their way back to the point, but down goes Finch. No, sorry, it's Demi that's actually getting killed off. The Bard has strung their last song, at least for the moment. Ruja on the other side is now the target of the return damage. Gets out with 5k HP. The heals are coming through. 10k moving up on the health bar, barely making it out alive. You can see the MP at absolute 0. And now the tatami mats are going to come in. We're going to flip this game on its head. Meanwhile, we're sending Alicia back to base. Cash, now the target. Big Damn coming through the laser, trying to turn it around, but it's not good enough. Hasta la vista it is, as the Astro gets sent home.
Home and gone out of this fight. Ruja taking that stun, immediately falls afterwards on the point. Next focus of fire. Ion taking a lot of damage, but that Gunbreaker is able to stand up to it. Not a tank for nothing, trying to deal it out in return now to Alicia, who has to pop that guard on the point here. We've got the Mammoths going across the field. It's time for a little bit of puppetry, and we're gonna have to make sure that these teams avoid what they're about to put down.
Oh, Ruja is back up. Finch just needs to get out. It's a moment where they need to pull back, where 9 lives just needs to recover for a moment. You can see Alicia looking for the hook, looking for the chain, and doing some good damage with the primer end. Now the LB available. This could be the first big wombo combo that we've been expecting from this team. They got everything ready. Keep your eyes on Census. There's the primer scream. The Dragoon LB still getting hauled out as Alicia goes down to half. Big heals coming through there. They're holding on for dear life at the moment, and now the Dragoon LB comes through. Aqua down for the count. Aeon chased out of the fight, and it really looks like Crystal Movers are moving that crystal indeed.
They are, and they are going to get it where it needs to go. They're going to deliver it. Finch trying to make it back to the potion, but is unable to get it. Meanwhile, Sense, a familiar face here in the PvP scene, if any of you have been around, is not going to let Finch really get away without a fight. But unfortunately, that bit of overextension might cost Senses, having to pop the guard, going back for the door, going across the arena for a quick escape.
Oh, nice door play. It is revolving quite nicely around Census here at the moment. 2 tanks down, no tanks left on the mat here, at least for the moment, but over number advantage here for our friends on 9 lives, at least for the second. Another kill claimed, the crystal pushed forward, and the checkpoint claimed. Rook, they are picking up a lot of steam right now.
9 lives are really bearing their claws and sinking them in. They are getting this percentage up. We're seeing them at 83% approaching the end. They're going to have to contest, although they're kind of getting psyched out about why Crystal would allow them to just waltz right up. Sarah immediately going on point, popping that guard. We have the limit breaks over with Alicia. Oh, but the Dragoon limit break. No, the Samurai limit break from 9 is going to take 2 out over on Crystal's side. This puts them at a huge disadvantage, although we do see 2 down in exchange over on 9. We've got a lot of things flying back and forth on either side, Lithy.
It's the clutch wombo combo from Alicia and Census coming in once again. They're making it work, but they have a lot more work to do. Crystal Move as well. It's a long work day ahead for them as they need to go back the entire length of the map and still 9 lives, keeping the pressure up. They need to recover here for a second, kind of pull back. They got 3 LBs, so they have the time. 45 seconds left on the clock. They can just recover, regroup, and then just win the next fight if they wanted to. But for the moment, Finch staying on. The LB popped for the Astro. Cash coming in with a laser as well on the back line there. Damn it, taking a lot of damage, down to 1k HP, barely getting around the corner. Sarah trying to take some HP back for themselves. No MP left on any of the players here of Crystal Movers. That looks like an exhausting workday, and the lunch break more than overdue. But can they hold on, Rook? It looks like for the second they do indeed.
They do indeed. Alicia, though, taking massive damage. No MP to be able to recuperate here. Limit break just out of reach and dies. Unfortunate, but Pasta has a limit break still in their back corner. Sarah taking a lot of heat, popping that guard on the point. We've got all kinds of damage flying. Silence hitting Ion as well. They're trying to keep it up here. Nyan has the advantage. Dragoon limit break raining down from the sky, unleashing. Senses tries to get a pick. Ion does go down. Aqua, no mana. Limit break goes off, but it's not going to be any help because they are dead. Ruja over here getting closer and closer to this limit break themselves, and this could be a good bait if they want to try and keep it here. They have the advantage. They're trying to get on the mat, getting that potion. They are all right. Sarah manages to use that white mage gap closer to avoid the map flip and is able to stay alive as well. And Crystal Mover Co. takes repossession of the crystal to box it up and deliver it across the map.
That is the goal, but they need to recover here for a moment, and it is overtime, and as I said, they need to push the entire length of the map, and now the spawn is not as close to their fighting spot as they would have liked to. Big lasers coming through, already one down for the movers, and Sarah dropping down to half. No MP left on that white mage, and you do not like having no MP on the white mage. Cash pulling back for just a second, looking for a little bit of a pick there in the back line. The battle is kind of raging away from the crystal slowly but surely, but still holding on to that all-important spot. We're deep into overtime, and for the moment at least, the Crystal Movers can hold on a little bit longer. Alicia down to half. Aeon now back in the fight, looking for more damage. Has the guard available and the LB in just a moment. Ruja has that Samurai LB as well and looks to cut off some heads here, Rook.
And Alicia falls, not even having to use that limit break on Ruja's side, but they have plenty coming up. I mean, 9 lives has huge damage. Unfortunately, the Astro goes down, so they're not going to be able to use that limit break, but we do see Aqua immediately falling as well. Ruja still has this Samurai limit break. They have the advantage here, though, because they do have 94%. Crystal Movers unleashing that white mage limit break across the arena, polishing off 4 down on Nyan, and Ruja trying to get back, but that bind is gonna make it a little bit tricky. Going around the corner, trying to fight it out, maybe just deciding right now, I'll just go ahead, unleashing the limit break to get that pick on Alicia, which is going to be a bit of a stagger as they try to push back with Crystal Mover Co. taking the crystal, holding on to it. They have to keep somebody on it, Lithy, because if they don't, they will lose.
Oh, the laser coming through, double hit, but it's not enough. Sarah and Pasta still alive. Finch dropping lower and lower. They are clearing the checkpoint. They're moving on, but it's 2 members down for Crystal Movers. Alicia now respawn, trying to get back in, and Sensus almost has the LB. He's been carrying this game so hard. 8 or 9 kills in a row now, but there is Aqua to shut him down. A quick right hook to the chin, and down he goes. Pasta holding on with the guard, but for the moment, it is looking more than dire. No one on the crystal. Could this be the end of overtime? No, barely. It is Alicia making it back on. 2 members down. The movers are just holding on desperately to this contract, but it's not looking great. Alicia just trying to stay alive, but every warrior will need to retire at some point in the battle. Down to half. The damage coming in. LB's almost ready here on this side, but look at that, Sensus. How do you manage that again? Double kill with the LB, and the laser from Cash is not even gonna help. Alicia is still alive. Now finally falls, and Rook, the movers are marching on the win.
They're clutching those boxes. They are loading up the truck, and they are driving it despite the rocky roads. Damage going out everywhere. That heavy as well hitting Deme, but they are going to bust out of it. Bards are quick, and they are light on their feet, not a problem at all as the damage continues to fly on the point. Finch taking the focus fire, trying to duck around the corner here, trying to make it to the tatami, looking for something to stay within range to get some heals, but Senses is not going to let them just run away that easily, chasing them around and continuing to try to get that kill. Cash is working towards this limit break, but isn't even going to have the chance. That binds, keeping them in position while the damage just kept rolling in. Sarah down as well, healers on both sides out, and Finch taking massive heat over on Nine Live side, but finding that extra life, managing to hang in there and staying in the fight, while Deme is the one who goes down on Crystal's side instead.
Oh, the damage is ramping up. Sensus almost has this LB. Sarah dying with the white mesh LB ready. They still need to hang on to this crystal. There's so much push that Nine Lives was able to get out onto the map before we got into overtime. Pasta now down for the count. Sensus down, and that is it! Oh my god! After minutes of grueling effort, it is 9 lives holding on to the match.
Sarah was so close. That gap closer with the white mage Sarah trying to get in there just to keep somebody on the crystal, but it was a losing battle. They weren't able to just bring that final force. And yes, we are going to see 9 lives. They really turned this into a cat fight, and they came out of it as the real cats in this situation. You know, the yowls you hear in the alley, I could just hear them playing in the background of my mind. You know, the ones that you hear from strays outside your house, Layden. Or is that just us where we live? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm living on 3rd floor. I don't hear any cats.
Oh, nice. That's got to be a luxury. I mean, it was an incredibly well-fought battle. That overtime just really dragged on. But you love to see when two teams are just fighting to the very last second, and fight they did. So although we have our victory here over on the side of 9 lives, Crystal Mover Co. has plenty of time to turn this around, Liffy.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the Wombo combos, right? We know exactly now how much focus, how much just impact Sensus is bringing to the table. So I will be very curious to see if 9 lives is able to turn that around a little bit. Maybe kind of put a target on Sensus's back and just take him out as much as possible, because that is going to disrupt Crystal Movers massively. But of course, on the other side, well, Crystal Movers, they basically just need to keep doing what they were doing at the end, but earlier in the match. And then this is going to be a very competitive.
You know, this might have been a case of them just needing to warm up, right? I mean, when you're getting into this sort of matchup, when you've been kind of sitting and waiting in the wings, when you've been getting your glam so right, as we can see here, it's easy to just need a bit of time to get into your own momentum. And that may very well be what we're seeing. They may be coming into it. And Palestra, as we are about to go on to, a very neutral map where both teams, I think, have a very even shot of being able to show what they do and what they do well.
Indeed. Very neutral map, very open. Here it really comes down to your ability to punch the enemy in the face properly and not getting punched out beforehand. So yeah, 20 seconds, then the gates open, and we are off to the races. 1-0 up at the moment for 9 lives. It's a best of 5 here in the semifinals. Winner goes on to face El Dorado in the grand finals.
I like the little bit of spice you put on the El Dorado. I mean, it's just like how we like to say Brian, saying Brian Ricardo. You know, it's just, it just feels better.
It does. It does. I love a good rolled R.
Both teams coming in here to the center, a few shots being exchanged, but a little bit on the back foot, trying to just sort of feel each other out. Alicia, though, going to push that front line forward, popping that guard right off the bat, trying to draw a bit of fire, but they're not going to fall for it. Ion, instead, over on 9 lives, taking a lot of damage, followed by Finch, but Super Swag is the one who goes down. We have binds going out. Alicia and Pasta kept in the fray. Sarah trying to make a little bit of an impact here, but not finding as much damage as she's taking.
Yep, a lot of damage going out. Not enough, though, to get more kills. 1-for-1 still the status quo on the kill tab. as Super Swag is back up. Aqua now finally getting picked up here by Crystal Movers, and slowly but surely that one is moving forward. Sarah getting traded out. Aeon already on the second kill of the game, and they are looking to catch more momentum. Senses working up to that LB, and we just talked about how impactful Senses has been on this first map. Alicia, the other piece to that puzzle, is getting taken to the Kalinas right now. It's not looking good in the opening seconds here for the Movers.
It's not, you know, they're trying to see what they can kind of line up here. And Census, like you're saying, has been bringing a lot, really focusing down targets. But when every other one of their teammates that, you know, he might be comboing with is just getting picked one by 9 lives, it's really difficult to actually land those plays. And immediately off the bat, we're going to see 9 lives taking this 50% marker with 3 minutes still on the clock. Everything exploding here in a moment as Finch pops the guard. Are they going to be able to make it back to the potion? They do. They are all right. But Cash, on the other hand, is not and does die. That White Mage Limit Break sweeping across the arena, getting some extra damage out as Finch also has to fall back, get this potion, manages to stay in it for now. But Census is popping off in the middle of all of this, just getting as much out as he can. That Dragoon Limit Break goes up in the air, and it hovers, and it descends, and it takes out Aqua in one massive hit.
Man, that was not very cash money of the Crystal Movers, but they will take the dub anyway. Census down to half, gets focused up a little bit, but with 3 members, it's easy for Super Swag and Pasta to just keep them up and alive. Sarah on the back foot for a moment before the big heals come through. Bard LB thrown in as well. The guard for Ruja will maybe take their lives to a little bit of a prolonged sentence. As they make it out, Finch gets taken down in the meantime. 4 LBs ready for 9 lives. Rookdane just need to regroup as the big laser comes out for Super Swag. And Aqua just wants to get back into the fray.
Aqua's trying here, has that Ninja Limit Break, but Ruja's gonna die before the team is able to really unleash Astro Limit Break going out from Finch here, providing a bit of that extra support, a bit of that extra heal. But with the return fire coming at them, Aeon is gonna fall. Meanwhile, we've got enough damage going out that both teams are kind of on the back foot here, figuring out how they want to try and get another pick. Cash getting that heavy, getting that bind, now popping the guard, trying to stay alive as he falls back around the corner. Back towards the crystal, though, we've got plenty of action as they continue to push it across to that midway point. Bull going out from the Astro, dampening a little bit of the incoming damage, but neither team really finding some picks right now, Liffy.
Yep, you jinxed it, Rook. Good job. Pasta is done and dusted. Ruja, on the other hand, gets some massive fields just to keep them alive. The guards are coming out here for another second. The Movers are trying to hold on, but they can't really pick up any more momentum. They get a pick or 2 at the most before being beaten down once again. Alicia and Sensus have the combo ready. We might see the Primus Scream. There it is. Sensus looking for the LB. There it is, coming in. The laser on top of that, but there is the Dragoon. Massive damage, but not enough. Aqua staying alive. Cash and Finch just popping all the heals in the book, just absolutely kitchen sinking it. And it looks like 9 lives will live to fight another day.
9 lives, they've got 9 of them, and they use them over and over again. On the point, still keeping it here, hovering around the middle. Cash goes down off to the side, though. Is focused, targeted. Aqua soon to follow that. Ninja Limit Break is sitting there. They have the guard, so they decide to kind of pop it and just keep some heat off of them, but it is heating up on the crystal. Alicia is fighting as much as she can here on the point, dodging around, trying to get a bit of a moment, an opportunity, but that guard popped from Finch is going to prevent any of the actual damage landing, having to just buy some time. As Senses harries Finch back around the corner, is going to go back to point, though, deciding that maybe it's a bit of a better fight to try and invest as much as possible. We've got a stun that hits on the side, though. Super Swag trying to heal up, trying to stay alive. Ruja just absolutely wailing on them, and then leaping back to point to focus target Alicia instead.
Yep, and we're heading into overtime. The tank is down, and that's not looking good for the Movers here. It really looks like 9 lives are just clawing their way further into the series. Sarah down to half, pops the guard on the crystal, trying to stay alive, trying to keep them in the game, in the match. Super Swag now there for support, and Alicia about to respawn. Where's the big damage? It is missing because Aqua is down. Really struggle moments here for 9 lives as they cannot bring in the damage that they need to clean this crystal up. The Movers just too diligent in keeping this match going, moving off of the crystal. Only Aeon on that for the moment as we're sticking really just to this overtime and keeping it going. Big laser from Super Swag, and that might be the momentum they were looking for.
It might be indeed, but they have to stay on Crystal Mover Co. in the same position as they were last time. It's overtime, and they only have 2%. They've got to keep someone on at all times over on the Crystal, and Nine Lives knows this. Alicia really trying to hold down the fort, has that Warrior Limit Break is sitting on it. The balance going out on the team, that extra damage might be what they need. Cash falls close to the Limit Break, but unable to use it. Ion has the Gunbreaker Limit Break in return, and we have that Ninja Limit Break as well ready, but Finch is going to die on their side for 9 lives. They are hanging on. Crystal Mover Co. knows that they have to hang in. The Bull, though, not even dampening the amount of damage that they are taking, despite having 2 down over on 9 lives. They are still on the point, keeping someone on the point. That Samurai Limit Break takes out their tank, but Crystal Mover Co. is not giving up on this job.
It is not over until it's over. The big laser once again coming through from Super Swag. Sarah has the LB ready, so does Senses, and we have already seen on map 1 how much work they get done in overtime. Especially Senses, the big hero, the big dog, looking for the LB damage. Can't really find any picks with it though, and Super Swag down for the count. Now it's starting to get dicey here for the movers as their Bard is down to half HP as well. The damage just funneling on through, but the Monk gets traded. A little bit of a desperate situation here. Aqua down for the count, but Sarah also, once again, it looks like 9 lives is pulling back and are surrendering the crystal, at least for a second. No one on that thing. Umbra wins. Crystal movers just get pushed off.
Crystal Movers, no! Oh, they were absolutely in a position where they could have kept someone on the Crystal. 9 lives falling back, but as they tried to take advantage of that opportunity, as they tried to stagger some picks, they all moved, but not in the way you would have hoped. They moved right off the Crystal, and unfortunately, you can't just abandon your moving job halfway along the way. You gotta take that Crystal to its final destination.
It is unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. But that also means 9 lives moving up to match point, being 2-0 up in this series. Rook, have you heard the tragic story of the blue team Astro?
No?
They passed her away.
Okay. What happened? Oh, pasta? Like pasta? Like pasta? Liffy?
Moving on.
Your silence and your little okay. All right, chat, don't humor them. Don't humor them. Look, I love me some astrologian. I will take a big helping of pasta and a side of tarot reading while I'm at it. Pasta really is holding it down as much as they can over on that Astron Crystal Mover Co. side, but I mean, 9 lives, like you've been saying, Lippy, has really just, they bared their teeth, they hissed, but it wasn't just a show. They actually came in to mess Crystal Mover Co's up, and they are doing exactly that. Crystal really are putting up an incredible fight of their own. We've seen both of these teams that, standoff that we thought might happen here between the, strong forces of DPS and of the sort of sustained support. They've really been pretty evenly matched in many encounters, but 9 lives just seems to come out of the gate immediately on top of it. They're getting that percentage that they need so early into the match, and then it is just next to impossible for Crystal Mover Co. to match or surpass it.
Yeah, I think the pick potential is just a little bit more kind of evolved on the side of 9 lives, right? You're running that Monk, you're running that Samurai, and with those 2 LBs, you can basically guarantee kills just by setting them up yourself. You need a little bit of follow-up from the rest of your team, but you can basically guarantee picks. And on the other side, you mainly are working around Census's Dragoon LB, and we've seen quite a few situations where that was not quite able to connect the damage that they wanted to. But we're heading into match point, we're on Volcanic Heart, it's getting hot as Sarah gets singed, burns their fingers, but takes down Aqua in the process. 1-for-1 here in the opening duel. Aeon now the big target on the Crystal, but the guard immediately coming out here.
Guard this early on is not something you want to have just immediately gone from your kit, but they're using it to absorb some of this damage. Pasta, maybe because of the terrible pun that you said, is just dying immediately, Lithy, and I'm gonna blame that on you personally, but with all the love in my heart, because I do love you, friend. Finch, meanwhile, getting this absolutely hampered by the team, taking stun, taking CC after CC after CC, trying to still make it back, and is going to be able to get away. But meanwhile, back towards the Crystal, there is a brutal fight. That White Mage Limit Break sweeping across from Super Swag on the point. Doesn't get an immediate kill, but Ruja is slow to go down after hopping away in their little frog suit to try and get a potion, which they are able to make it to. They actually decide for the elixir, they're going to replenish that mana while they're at it.
Yep, and here we go. It is bomb time. If you've all played Bomberman growing up, then you know exactly how this works, but if not, well, you just basically gotta not get stunned in the orange lines, which is easier said than done in the meantime. Massive damage going out onto Sarah. Aeon gets traded out, and overall, little bit of momentum going on for, well, can't really give that to either team, but big balance coming out for 9 lives, looking to get some momentum with that. And quite honestly, Rook, maybe it is just a map difference, because salad is a dish best served cold.
It could very well be, and I think we should keep that in mind. But I mean, we're already seeing 9 lives here taking 36% on the progress, and Crystal is trying as much as possible to contest that, not let them get further, but they only have 3%, giving a bit of chase down the middle lane here. That White Mage Limit Break coming out again over on Crystal Moverco's side, and it's just paving the way for them to get picks. Aqua going down, Ruja taking some huge damage, as well as that bind. Gonna ride it out, gonna pop that guard, staying towards the middle here as the Astrologian Limit Break goes out from Pasta, not deterred by the terrible punt, bringing all the sauce here, really laying it on and laying those heals out there while he's at it, coming around the corner just to try and peek. But back on the point, we've got a bit of a tussle going on as it continues to creep forward over on Yan Live's percentage advantage.
Yep, Cash is the target. That's some good damage on the White Mage, but staying alive. The out of MP now, no self here. Makes it around the corner though, and the peels from the team are there to help. Census needs to pull back to assist with the battle on the Crystal, so Cash gets to recover, gets to chug an elixir, and will be re-entering the fight with filled up MP. Ruja, it falls victim to Super Swag's laser, and that's a numbers advantage that the movers were looking for. Still, the Super Swags themselves now under fire, down to half, making it around the corner, but it's Aqua on their tail, just hammering the advantage home. But Alicia and Census looking for the big wombo combo. Primal Scream and the Dragoon LB are available, and with a guard break on that Warrior LB, Rogue, you could do quite some damage here. There it is, let's go, big damn!
White Mage Limit Break, Census dropped that Dragoon Limit Break on high, and 9 lives, they are running for their lives right now. Finch falling back around the corner on this runway, trying to take advantage of that, going to have to avoid the fire that's streaking across it though. Cash also unsure what to do, hanging back just a bit as they try to get some kills, but kills are being done to them instead. They're going to need to regroup. They know this, and this is a perfect opportunity for Crystal Mover Co. to finally get some percentage on this Crystal and fulfill their dreams. That White Mage Limit Break sweeping out from Super Swag, but kind of an odd time to use it. Didn't get a direct pick as far as we could see. Maybe just kind of pushing people off of the point and further harrying them. Aqua coming on to the Crystal here now, having used that Limit Break not too long ago. There's not a lot that he can do in this exact moment, and Ion is gonna fall instead. That heavy, that bind, just hampering Cash while he uses that gap closer to come back in, get some heals out on the team, keeping 9 lives in the fight. But they are definitely feeling the pressure from Crystal.
Ooh, there's some kills traded. Aeon down, Ruja falls, and Alicia gets traded for the 1-for-1. Still moving forward, 5 seconds left on the clock, and it's once again on the movers to recover the progress that the other team has made over the course of the map. It's Cash falling, 2 down on 9 lives at the moment, and for the first time in overtime, it really looks like this could go the way of the movers. It would be necessary. They are down 2 maps. They need to win this to stay in the tournament. And once again, they find a pick. Cash and Finch both down for the count as the Crystal slowly but surely gets moved.
Senses is a veteran and is always involved in the community events, and he is laying it all out, just absolutely trying to take out the enemy team with everything that he has, but he is the one whose life is depleting. Even with that bowl on him from the Astrologian, even with that damage reduction, he's having to kind of duck around, trying to line of sight, coming back onto the Crystal, attempting to get some extra damage out. 9 lives, they're all back, they are all ready, and those limit breaks Super Swag going down, unable to contribute the White Mage limit break, the heavy, and the stun hitting Pasta, who will immediately fall after that. And Senses guard expended, no mana is going to fall as well, but they are in overtime, and the only option is for Sarah to try as long as possible, but trying is not good enough when doing makes the difference. And Sarah is down, making our victor here 9 lives, Lithy.
Oh my goodness, that Crystal got turned into a meat grinder, balling it all up here for the grand finish and 9 lives. Taking the series, moving on to the grand final where they will be facing El Dorado.
El Dorado. We need to find, I guess you can do both in a fun way, right? El Dorado and 9 lives. That's how I would do it, Lithy. Do you have a way that you would pronounce both of those names?
No, yeah, I think it's perfect, Rook.
Great, thank you.
Please keep going with 9 lives.
Yeah, I'll do my best. You know, anime has taught me a lot about how catgirls sound. So I'm gonna anime and Final Fantasy 14. So we're just gonna keep writing that. But we've got.
Where's the difference?
There's some difference. There's some difference, but you're not that far off point, to be honest. We are going to take a look here at our bracket, though, which we see up on the screen. We have had our finalists determined here. Amazing fights all around everyone. And a reminder again to all of our viewers, this is a community tournament that's been happening. And as such, we had teams that were mixed with veteran players and newcomers. And we just want to take a moment to say thank you so much. Thank you. Even if you are new to PvP, many times what I hear from PvPers is that they want the chance to continue to grow the scene and that it is so important to them that more people get involved. And to our veterans as well, those of you who make the environment welcoming, we cannot say thank you enough. It can be a nerve-wracking experience getting into PvP, particularly when you look at things like this from a competitive standpoint. So uplift each other, take care of each other, and well done to everyone working together as teams in this tournament, no matter your experience level. We really appreciate it. Our finalists here are going to be El Dorado and 9 lives. Maybe you can say it kind of cutesy too, I guess. I don't know. I'll keep workshopping it, but both of these teams are phenomenal, Lithy. What do you think they're going to bring to the table here for the finals?
A lot of fire, a lot of passion, and of course a map reset as we're heading back to Palestra. But first and foremost, Rook, I think we need a quick breather. We'll take a quick little break, 2-3 minutes, give the team some time to take a breather and get really focused up for this last matchup, this grand final. It's gonna be another best of 5, everyone, so do stick around. The LunarCon PvP tournament is gonna be back in just a second.
Welcome back, everyone, to our finals here with our LunarCon PvP tournament. We've had some incredible matches over the course of this entire weekend, and it has all led to this right now, right here. Our two finalists, El Dorado and Nyan Lives, who are going to be facing off in a epic duel. Liffy, what are you thinking about these two teams? How are you feeling about this final?
I am stoked, to say the very least. It's going to be fantastic. El Dorado just blazing through that first semifinal of the day, 3-0ing copium enjoys, including some literal FanFest 2023 champions. So this is a powerhouse team that we really need to watch out. But on the other side, 9 Lives, they had a tough matchup against the Crystal Movers, and they managed to pull out the victory. So they are not to be underestimated.
Oh, no. I mean, both of these teams, we have seen them fight and just fight hard. And it's incredible, too, when you take into consideration that these teams are made up of veteran and even sometimes newcomers to the PvP scene. So to come together in this fantastic group effort to bring as much heat as they have, especially like you were saying, Lithy, when we saw El Dorado earlier topple some of the players who had been our NA CCRC champions this year. I mean, of course, it shows that the team is what makes the difference here, right? Everyone coming together and working together, showing and improving as a unit and being able to really set up those plays. It's part of what makes Crystalline Conflict so fun. And both of these teams, 9 Lives and El Dorado, really have some incredible synergy. 9 Lives, of course, being this powerhouse that we've talked about, where we've seen them run a lot of the 2 tank 2 healer combo. We've also had them run a bit of Dark, a little bit of Dragoon. They do a lot, but they really know how to just push that crystal, hold it down, and just absolutely fight. Meanwhile, El Dorado, they have kind of come into this competition as a rogue element, but have proven themselves strong from the get-go, Lithy.
Yeah, at this point, quite honestly, they're my tournament favorite, right? I would usually call them a dark horse, but they are definitely all the way up at the favorite position by now. On the other side, 9 Lives, you bring up the double tank, double healer comp, right? But they have not pulled that out in the semi-final. That might be the ace in the hole that they are saving for the grand final, where they really might need it. But overall, I think El Dorado will have a tough nut to crack if they want to take the win here. It's going to be a best of 5. It's going to be an epic matchup here, and I cannot wait to see who is gonna take this out. Of course, we already talked about it, best of 5, yes, but we're also resetting the map rotation. We'll be starting off on Palestra and moving down the list over the course of this grand final. So let's get this on the road, Rook. It is the grand final, 9 Lives versus El Dorado.
This is going to be an incredible one. Everybody, keep your eyes on the screen. Stay on the edge of your seats, because both of these teams are incredibly skilled, and it really could be anyone's game, especially on this map. A good neutral place for these two teams to get a feel for one another and see what they're going to be up against. Now, they're going to have to take that best of 5, as we've been saying. So we're going to get through a good hunk of these. Lithy, is it possible this might be our first 4 of the night? 4 maps? Do you think we're going to get to the 4th?
Ooh, that is gonna be a tough question to answer. It is very possible. I think these teams are absolutely closely matched, especially considering these teams have only found together about 2 weeks ago and have been practicing as a team since then. It is impressive to see what level of performance we're seeing in this tournament so far, and this grand final is gonna not left us wanting for anything more. Here we go. The gates are open. Rook, let's bring it.
Let's bring it indeed, and they are already on it. 9 Lives not running that 2 tank 2 healer, right? We're seeing them go with what they did last time. They're also playing a little bit cautiously. They know that El Dorado, they are strong and they know how to focus down, but both of these teams running similar kinds of group compositions here. Terra falling back, hanging back towards the back lines as they kind of push onto the crystal here. Everything kicking off now as we have the Astrologian unleashing, but Cash goes down over on 9 Lives side immediately.
Oh my goodness, Colamus down to 1%, gets healed up. They avoid the trade-off, and that is something that On the other side, 9 Lives has been able to secure almost every single game so far. Aqua down to 4k HP, finally gets taken down, and it really looks like the momentum is building already for El Dorado.
El Dorado, they are on their journey and they will not end on the trail that they blaze. They are just blazing it. They take out another Ruja falling there on the point. Now Fool having to pop that guard, but I mean there's really very little pressure at this exact moment, even though Cash is trying to kind of pepper at them, getting transformed into that cute little Peaky, then also just getting blasted by damage. Ion, however, back towards the point, trying to just use that Gunbreaker's abilities to his best advantage, but is not going to be able to really lock it down. 9 Lives, you know, they just came off of a bunch of victories, but they're realizing they're going to have to get smart with this competition.
Well, you know what they say, Rogue, go ham or go home, and it seems like Colamus is the one getting sent home here for the moment. Gets one shot there, despite, or rather, with Cash's laser. Now Finch and Aqua have the LBs ready. Fool on the Dragoon, looking to pop that in as well. Going up into the air, the crash down coming through. Ruja down to 10%, but gets healed up immediately. Finch pops the LB in there as well. Ruja just trying to stay alive, gets to pick up the elixir. Nice slow here onto Fool to remove any chance of catching up to Ruja. They are going to heal up completely with the elixir, and for the moment it looks like 9 Lives is actually the team pushing forward and ever onward.
9 Lives is getting this crystal percentage. 2 minutes. Oh, that white mage limit break going out, and Cash is going to fall over on 9 Lives side. El Dorado is unleashing their damage, but they're taking some in return as Calamus also takes a trade there. We have binds flying out in the field. Terra trying to fall back, get some more heals here. We got the heavy on Veloce, but Veloce is still alive. Veloce is an incredible red mage, but just not finding much purchase right now as they duke it out on the crystal. In fact, taking a lot of heat from Aqua, who's trying to just focus them down and keep them from unleashing those powerful AoEs, those buffs and debuffs that red mages are so good at. Aqua back on the point, gets that silence, and is taken out in one swift blow.
Oh my goodness, the damage is insane. Veloce just rearing up and saying nay to take them down. Cash, the next target, down goes the cat. And with that one out of the back, it looks like once again overpowering numbers here on the side of El Dorado. The big problem here, Rook, even though they keep finding kills, they keep finding the big advantages, they're unable to push the crystal at all.
9 Lives, we saw this even in their last matchup. They get that percentage high, and then they just sink their claws and teeth in, and they will not give it up. Aqua doing exactly that, popping that guard, dodging on and off the point, but will die for that. Finch finally having to fall back alongside Cash, which means that this is going to be an opportunity for El Dorado to secure this crystal. We see some elixirs going out. Terra going to go ahead and replenish that MP. Calamus just pushing that crystal. Calamus is an incredible white mage like we saw in the matches earlier, and as they're able to get this percentage, Calamus may be able to have a moment to shine here. We've got limit breaks, 4 of them over on El Dorado, and 4 just now popping on 9, so things are about to pop off, Liffy.
It's going to be a bloodbath. 45 seconds left to go. Whoever wins this fight is in a prime position to take the advantage into overtime. If we even get there, quick one-shot on Veloce and the Sage. This is absolutely insane.
It is. Way to describe it for sure. These picks, they're just trading back and forth. Meanwhile, the crystal halting its progress as they are fighting it out on it. Fool popping that guard. Again, just trying to keep on here to contest it so they don't lose the progress that they've made. But they have to get it further. 10 seconds on the clock, and it's just counting down. Meanwhile, 9 Lives still creeping it up inch by inch. That bind on Io is going to make things difficult as they try to fall back. They're trying to get to the potion, and they do make it, but overtime has just now kicked in, which means that El Dorado has to keep at least 1 on the crystal, and right now they are uncontested as they push it back, but Nine is just lurking in the shadows, huddled down, and looking to regroup.
Yeah, they are more than ready to pounce. 2 members down. Cash respawning just now. Aeon will be up and ready in just another second. And Aqua already on the speed lane looking for a flank, going in hard onto the crystal. It is overtime, but it is El Dorado that needs to stay on. Cash on 1 HP, gets the guard out, gets to stay alive, but is still low on MP, only 1.5k. That's basically nothing. might be able to get an elixir in. Looking for that cast right now as Eldorado pushes ever onward. Kalamos finds another kill, but Terra is down for the count. Might be respawning in just a second here to rejoin the fray. 5v4 with 5 seconds remaining on Aqua's timer. And once again, it looks like Eldorado is unable to convert the numbers advantage. Io down for the count. Aqua about to rejoin, and this might be the turning point of the battle.
Might indeed. I mean, we've got that ninja limit break, the samurai limit break, a wombo combo that they could use to polish them off, and 9 Lives is holding it for the time being. Foolproof taking a lot of damage, and Terra as well catching a bit of that as they try to just get back, but Terra has to pop the guard, has to keep someone on the crystal while they look for a pick. Fool doing exactly that, and unfortunately, Eldorado is going to lose one on their side. In the meantime, Veloce as well sandwiched in between death here, getting that white mage limit break across the field from Calamus, but it's not going to dislodge 9 Lives, who have pounced, and they have them in their teeth right now, Liffy.
Ruja finds the kill and still has the LB available. Somehow they need to keep on holding on. It's only Io on the point right now as Eldorado is looking to regroup. They're trying to make it back on. For the moment, at the very least, it looks like Fool made it over onto the point. Big laser coming through. Down goes the Dragoon, but back on the point already. Io just tanking it out. 4k HP gets taken down. Kolamos is in the fray as well as Terra. They are holding on desperately to this first map in the grand final, but it really looks like 9 Lives are the ones that are on the winning spree here right now. 2 members down. They are just hammering the advantage home. One by one they will fall, but Veloce with the Grand Cross not able to convert it into anything though. The damage just not enough, Rook, and it is really all on 9 Lives. They have the upper hand and they are closing this out.
They do, and honestly, it's gonna take a miracle, but Eldorado, they're hunting for that dream, that Dragoon limit break raining down from Foolproof. It does not get the kill, and in fact, Fool gets piggied and killed by Cash and 9 Lives Co. I guess 9 Lives team, I should say. Our moving Co is already out of the running, but Terra trying to get back, trying to stay on, is going to fall. Calamus is not gonna be able to make it back in time, which means that 9 Lives have secured their first victory here. Oh, and it was a hard fought one, Liffy.
It was a really hard fought one. What an impressive performance. The thing I am most amazed by is the fact that 9 Lives continuously is able to push the crystal even though they're down in numbers. Eldorado won the opening skirmishes, got 2 kills in a row, and they just lost on the push. That is absolutely mind-boggling.
It is. And I mean, it's not always the case, as we've seen time and time again in Crystalline conflict, that just because you initially got the crystal further, you are the one that's going to win, right? There is so much time to swing it back, to surpass it, to match it, to overtime it. But 9 Lives, they just have this just secure, tried and true method where they push that crystal and then they hold the line. They keep it. They make their opposing team have to just fight for any percentage that they can swing it back. And over and over again, you watch it as they just refuse to go down, as they use every life at their disposal, and they just hang in there until the other team is just out of resources and out of health, Liffy.
The big thing for me that is starting to kind of become apparent is the fact that the comp that 9 Lives is running works really well against this Dragoon lineup. Because that was the same matchup they had against the Crystal Movers, and even there, they managed to pull out every single round. The Monk and Samurai pick potential, compared to the kind of reliance on AoE combo damage with the Warrior Dragoon that Eldorado is bringing to the table, just works out so much better because they can keep getting these picks, which puts Eldorado in a position where they have the LBs, they in theory have the combos, but they don't have the members to actually follow up and find the kills to convert the advantages they are having. And 9 Lives is just taking that way all to the bank. We're heading on to the second map. It is Volcanic Heart once again, and I'm really curious if we're going to see any changes to either the comps or the game plans.
They're going to have to try and find something, whether it's a change in strategy or it's a change in their composition. I mean, here we see again the Monk and Samurai coming out. This is a powerful wombo combo, but they have to be able to use them. Now, this is a map that could play more to that advantage. I mean, Monks are excellent at ping-ponging their enemies around. And with the fire effects and everything else that go on this map, that could be something that they can use as they try to just continue to solidify their lead on 9 lives. But back over on El Dorado, we aren't seeing a huge shift here. We still have this Dragoon, we still have this Red Mage, and I mean, with this particular lineup, El Dorado is going to really have to try and make sure they don't lose that advantage early on and that they are able to really play the throughput of this entire game, because 9 lives is going to make them have to work for every percent.
Every percent? They're gonna make them work for every inch and tile on this map. There we go. Maps are open. It is the grand final in case you're just tuning in. 9 lives versus El Dorado, and 9 lives is up 1-0. Best of 5, so it's gonna come down to the wire. Tenna is the first one getting exploded. This time around, though, 9 lives are holding on. The big heals are coming through, and the momentum is picking up some steam over here. 9 lives pouncing on the opportunity.
9 lives was not going to give them a chance to try and get some percentage on earlier. They're playing smart, even with 1 down. Finch going back, getting that potion, coming back on point. No sweat here, not worried at all. Aqua taking a little bit of heat, but again, they are able to just sustain through this. That silence isn't going to really hamper them. Meanwhile, Io taking that heavy and getting absolutely beaten up on. You know, he's a warrior, he can take it, but he's going to have to fall back just a bit here and try to play a little more conservatively. El Dorado isn't giving up as much ground here. In fact, they're swinging it back towards that midway point, but 9 lives, even with 15%, they're not going to let them just have it. Calamus unleashing that huge white mage limit break that does lead to some big damage and a death. Ion hanging on for dear life right now, Liffy.
Yep, for the moment it's looking alright, but once again, El Dorado not really finding the push now, starting to move the crystal slowly but surely. But there's 2 LBs already on the side of 9 lives. Finch up now once again, rejoining the fray. Aqua though getting 1 shot. Massive pick. The turnaround damage onto full is not good enough. The LB is available and the Dragoon is just gonna pop an elixir, get a little bit of a chug on and get back into the fray. It's holding on even for the moment. The crystal push is in. And finally, El Dorado converting some momentum.
They're getting it, and they have a much better lead on their percentage than they did in the previous one. 33% and counting. They are pushing it around the corner, but 9 lives is fighting them hard for it. Back and forth on the point. Ruja taking some big damage here. Has this limit break, though. Finch almost going down. That heavy also hampering him. The balance not here yet. We have a bowl out currently, so a bit of damage reduction, but it's not going to be enough as a Finch dies. Limit break unused. Ruja has this limit break in play, trying to get Veloce down, who has to pop the guard to keep up, ducking around the corner, trying to just shake Ruja a bit, who seems content to stay back on the crystal, but is going to leap back in and attempt to get some more damage on Veloce. Veloce is going to the potion, gets it, and is able to recover some health, but the point is just going back and forth.
Really, really necessary for 9 lives right now to not overheat. Take a breather, pull back, regroup, stop the staggers from coming in, get a pick in a good skirmish, use those LBs, but it's not working out. Finally, Veloce going down. Maybe they can follow it up on Terra as well. That would be a massive, massive first step back into the map. But overall, El Dorado doing a fantastic job at keeping everything going. Big lays onto Calamus, but he's just around the corner, gets polymorphed, tries to waddle away, waddle away. Yeah, but that's not working out. Anyway, everyone back up to 5 members, a little bit of bombing action going on, and it really looks like, slowly but surely, 9 lives was able to convert some momentum, but now they're getting shut down in the attempt.
You know, this time El Dorado is the one who's saying, you're not going to get this percentage without working for it. Veloce laying down a lot of AoE damage there with that limit break, but we have damage going out on the field as well with these bombs that are detonating, and 9 lives is just taking a lot of extra hits on top of it. We've got Ion going for the potion, manages to avoid getting hit by the fire as they do. Meanwhile, scattered around, 9 lives are trying to reconverge back towards the point. They get that pick over on Terra, which is good for them as they try to undermine this offense, but they're going to lose Aqua in the exchange. That Monk going down here at a key point when they really could have used that extra damage as they duke it out over the middle point here. Io taking a lot as well. Doesn't have that limit break, already used it, so they're going to have to just ride this out. They don't have much mana though, so their health is going to be constantly diminishing as the healers try to recuperate, but the healers aren't going to be able to because they're going to be dead. Lithy, Calamus falls, limit break unused.
Blood for the Blood Lily. And this time it's Cash's Blood Lily. For the moment, they are moving on for the momentum side of things. Ruja back on the map, Calamus as well, and the fight's getting a little bit stale here on the middle checkpoint. 20 seconds until overtime. The team's just really trying to preserve some resources, get everything ready and set up for that big final fight once we're heading into overtime. Aeon and Terra both down for the count. It's a 4v4 on the Crystal as Io once again is low on MP. Will be trying to pull back for a little bit of an elixir. Is going to get the chug in and we are heading into overtime. The advantage overall definitely sitting on the side of Eldorado, but it's not too much. And there's the big one-shot. Aqua going down with the LB unused. Fool having to use that LB on their side to get that advantage. But can they convert that? They've had so much issue with that conversion in map 1.
Well, they have to convert it somehow, or they are going to lose here. 41%, they've got the disadvantage, but they get a huge hit out with that Samurai limit break over on Eldorado, which is not what Eldorado wanted right now as they fight for these last percentages. Now, they can still try to draw this out as much as possible. Calamus doing exactly that guard up, but the hits keep coming. Meanwhile, that bowl over on Nine is keeping them sitting comfy. Damage reduction, no threat, because Eldorado just doesn't have the people there, and they can't make it back in time, which means that even as well fought as it was, Lithy, 9 lives is going to take the second of this matchup as well.
What a match. You can definitely see Eldorado starting to ramp, finding those advantages early, finding the push advantage towards the middle of the game, but ultimately, once again, 9 lives able to hold on in overtime. So far, they are undefeated in overtime. To be fair, they haven't lost a single map since the start of the the semifinals. Actually, since the start of the tournament, they've not dropped a single map. That's absolutely insane.
Wow, impressive, but you can see why. I mean, they really are in it for the long haul, and they've made it all the way here to the grand finals, and they are determined to take this, and they will if they get this next map, Lithy.
It is match point. If Eldorado has anything, any ace up their sleeve, any trick left unused, you better bring it now. And you better bring it fast, because after this one, it could be all over. We're heading to Cloud9. It's going sky high for the third map of the grand final. And 9 lives are looking to claim the LunarCon 2023 PvP championship for themselves.
And they've got it in their sights if they really are cats, which we've seen many of them are. I'm sure their pupils are dilating and they are ready to jump and kill. And so they have got to land this one. I mean, they obviously have the advantage here, but if they want this to be over right now, right here, this is the match to win. I mean, you know, the Cloud9 map is one that many people have many feelings on, Lithy, and sometimes those feelings are perhaps that they don't like this map, but I also know many who absolutely love it, and I'm curious to see if Eldorado or 9 lives themselves might have a preference for this one. This could be the real literal and figurative shakeup that we need so that Eldorado can show why they were such strong contenders, why they were many people's favored pick to win this competition, although many of our teams were pretty evenly matched, but Eldorado really brought a lot of strength to their fight. So I am looking forward to seeing that strength return. Hopefully this will be what they need so they can stay in this competition and they can have their own shot. But this is 9 lives to close, and if they do, this will be their victory overall, Lithy.
It's really gonna come down to respecting the Monk and the Samurai LB. Ruja's pick at the end of map 2 was game-changing for 9 lives, and this could be once again the same thing. Ruja finds the first blood on themselves as Fool takes them down, and the follow-up on Aqua is absolutely massive. Good guard, blocks a lot of damage with that, and keeps the fight going. Aqua trying to get to that elixir. The heals are coming through, but it's not enough. They are down for the count, and 9 lives are jumping backwards from the jump scare that Eldorado is dishing out here.
Eldorado went straight for those targets like they could even hear you. They're going one by one. Ruja's a threat, take Ruja out. Aqua's a threat, take Aqua out. Why not? Let's take Aeon out so that they don't have the sustain on the point that they have been relying on. Ruja's back now, able to get into the fray, but already having to play much more cautiously. Damage hitting Terra, but Terra is going to fall to all of that. Veloce as well, having to just kind of get a bit of distance here, duck around the corner, play close to that potion in case they need it. They're going to go straight back onto the point, unleashing everything that they can. Finch over on 9 lives is down. Ruja short to follow. Eldorado might have 9 lives number, Lithy, because they are picking them one by one.
For the moment, that's working. Aeon has the first LB ready, but EO and Fool on the other side got the wombo combo up and ready. Might be throwing that in just a second, but for the moment, it's more LB building for Eldorado, and it's starting to work. Terra very close to that LB. Colamos almost ready with the laser on the other side. You still gotta wait. Aqua so close to getting their LB, but it's not quite ready yet. There we go. Now they're back in the fray, and now we can look for some picks. But 4 LBs on the side of Eldorado? This is gonna be tough. Turbulence coming in 15 seconds, so the guards will be out. This could be absolutely massive for 9 lives to pounce after this turbulence comes in. And there's the damage, double kill! Just like that, and just before the turbulence. Insane picks here for 9 lives.
Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed. They waited and they absolutely leapt upon it. Calamus is not going to be able to keep up with it. Cash unleashing that limit break there just to get that pick, just to secure this wash of death. And even with the tornadoes moving across the field, this is the opportunity that 9 lives needed to get some more percentage on the board. Eldorado already at that 50% marker, but very shortly, 9 lives, they are coming in to match it. We still have 2 minutes on the clock, and both teams are trying to figure out how they're going to play it, but Eldorado does have a full stack of limit breaks.
And they're looking to use them. Colamos eyeing up that laser. There it is. Massive damage coming through, but the damage on the turnaround is looking great. Aeon is dead. Colamos down to half. The LBs are thrown in one by one, and Eldorado picking up the momentum. Ruja down to half. Has an LB ready. Gets healed up. Trying to pull back. They need to reset. They need to get out, but the damage is looking good. Good guard here from Ruja. Is gonna delay the chase. And for the moment, the reset is gonna come through. Aura, the hero, blocking the crystal from being pushed back, winning valuable seconds here for 9 lives to reset.
They are, and you know, Eldorado has almost taken what 9 lives was doing and done it themselves. We have a limit break rushing across the field from Cash. It does manage to displace and damage Terra enough that Terra is quickly finished off. Io taking a lot of damage, having to pop that guard again on the point, leaping in to try and deal out some damage, but is not going to be able to get much impact before they are gone themselves. 9 lives is not going to let this crystal go all the way back. They are going to return all of this. Ruja still has this samurai limit break as well, but not needing to use it as Calamus is just pushed into a corner here, heavied and killed in quick order. This is going to force Eldorado to now regroup as they hover behind, which is going to give 9 lives the opportunity. There it is. They break that point. They push past 50%, and now they are getting the advantage as we have 30 seconds left on the clock.
And the ebb and flow of battle, Aqua has been massive so far with the Monk LBs, but now they need to work back up to that. Finch popping the Astro LB in here for a second. Io is the victim of the next push here as Ruja finally pops in the big laser. Grand Cross coming in from Veloce, looking for some picks, but more than damage is not coming through. The Crystal pushing forward and further towards victory, and 9 lives are mounting an offensive that is absolutely overwhelming as we're heading into overtime. Eldorado sitting with 2 members down. Io now back on the map, looking for some picks. Cash down to half, pulling back, looking for some heals, and will be in the fray once again to support their team. Rook It looks like the cats are eyeing up some dinner.
The cats they are hungry, they are yowling, but they are not really that worried, you know, making big production of it as usual, because it is going to be next to impossible. Eldorado has the spawn advantage here. They're trying to come around the corner and push back on the point. Io has that guard up, but Clemus can't even make it back, popping guard and racing around the corner, taking some extra damage from Finch, who is just unleashing upon them as the rest of the team over with 9 lives collapses on Calamus and just destroys them. Guards up all over on the point, and that White Mage limit break coming out from Cash over on 9 lives is gonna do some work even as they continue to chip away at the team's health, but Ion is getting so low, gets chained by Io, is not allowed to escape, and dies. Only 2 up right now on Eldorado, but they are fighting with everything that they have so that they don't have to say goodbye right now.
Calamus coming back in. That's a massive laser they can maybe use. There it is. Only finds one person. Finch, can they follow up the damage? It doesn't look good. Fool working up to that LB. It would be so crucial to have that Dragoon in. Gets it ready and immediately pops it in. Guard on the Crystal is going to push that back away from the victory position here for a moment, but great guard by Finch to avoid the damage. That's a Dragoon LB. It popped into nothing, and with that, 9 lives might be able to recover. Finch gets taken down, and slowly but surely that spawn advantage, Rook, is starting to build and overpower 9 lives.
It is. Eldorado is somehow back in this, although that White Mage limit break polishes off Terra coming out from Cash, but they take 2 in return, taking down Finch and Aqua over on 9 lives. They still are in the running for this as they focus down Ion and take Ion out as well. They are pushing the Crystal back. Somehow Eldorado has not given up on the dream, a city full of treasure, of victory here at LunarCon. They are gonna make it happen. Rouge has got this limit break. They have to be careful. They don't want to play into it if he decides to pop it. Ion not back in the fray yet, so the numbers advantage is still on Eldorado. Rouge's health is depleting. That limit break still unused. Veloce has one of their own ready to go, just waiting for these guards to come down across the field for opportunities to arise, but 9 lives know that they can hover back a little bit, but they can't stay back that far because Aqua's gonna fall if they don't press this advantage.
They are pressing it further and further, but the further they get, Rook, the further they get into spawn advantage territory here for 9 lives, and that would be devastating. Io, now the target of all the aggression, gets taken down. Grand Cross coming in from Veloce, but the damage is not good enough to find any picks. Aqua back on the map in just a second here, will be rejoining the team, and 2 members down for Eldorado. They are hanging on by a thread. 3 members here. I don't think there's too many guards, but Terra has the LB, gets pummeled consistently. Down to half, down to 10% once again, and Calamus gets 1 shot. Big damage coming through. Ruja's LB definitely involved in that, and both healers down for Eldorado. Match point here for 9 lives, and it looks like they are taking it home. Your LunarCon 2023 champions, 9 lives.
Well, even with Eldorado there, fighting to the end, almost managing to swing it back. 9 lives again, just proving that you cannot truly be rid of them and managing to claim this victory. That was a thrilling match. Honestly, all of those were some really intense overtimes.
That was insane, especially because I personally considered Eldorado as the kind of tournament favorites coming into this match, but 9 lives just having their number. I don't know if it's the the way they know how to play against this Warrior Dragoon Wombo combo. Something just clicked, something felt right, and they knew exactly what to do. And an undefeated sweep, they take the tournament. What a performance.
What an incredible performance indeed. And again, thank you to all of our teams who competed. When we have community events like this, it's always wonderful to see the mix and mingle of veteran and newcomers. We appreciate everybody that decided they wanted to give it a shot and to fight. I hope you took something fun away from the experience, even if that takeaway wasn't the ultimate victory. And 9 Lives has definitely earned it with their incredible performance here and their absolutely powerful strategies that sustain that constant sort of, I will make you have to claw this away from me, that lives up to their cat-like name. Just absolutely incredible gameplay from everyone, though, all around. Congratulations to our victor, but also congratulations to everyone else for giving it your shot, getting in here and celebrating LunarCon with us.
All right, guys. Thank you for casting both Rook and Lithy. You guys did an amazing job. We had a great time hearing your puns. And overall, hearing all that fun commentary alongside with all these crazy plays was the best part. And seeing 9 Lives going all the way to the end, I think undefeated, right? They did not lose a single match the whole time. That is insane. That is the kind of action we want to see, combining players of all levels to try to take their chance to win this competition, and that's proven here today with 9 Lives as the winner. I'm also joined by Brian Ricardo and Garuketo, both really great friends of mine who put together this whole entire PvP tournament and essentially pretty much did all the work for me when I didn't have to do it. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ko. Yes, thank you.
No problem. And hey, I want to give everybody a second to talk, so let's start with Rook. How'd you feel about everything today, and what'd you think about the whole tournament as a whole, casting it from this point on?
Oh, absolutely amazing. I mean, I love seeing events like this. I myself get so drawn into my Crystalline conflict matches. And with this revamp for PvP, it really feels like an opportunity for us to continue pushing for more diversity, more players, and more newcomers to the PvP scene. So everybody, be welcoming, be helpful, be supportive, and give it your shot, because it's so fun to see matches like this. And I think we all just get wrapped up in the action. Incredible performances all around from everybody this weekend, and I was so happy to get to be a part of it here for the semifinals and finals. Thanks, Ko, and thank you for everybody for having me.
Of course, and of course, guys, please get ready for the EU FanFest when you see both Rook and Lithy go live and cast all the cool matches out there. Now, with Lithy, how did you feel about all those matches today, and pretty much how are you feeling in general?
Yeah, it was alright.
Okay, Lithy.
Hey, all right.
I'm just talking.
All good, all good.
This was so much fun. Those such fantastic games, right? If you're going into a tournament like this where you have these mixed teams that haven't really had any chance to play as a 5 or a 6-7 man roster, depending on how many substitute players you have, right? Before that, it's always fantastic to see these teams come together and see how much they can improve over the course of the qualifiers. And the fact that we got this insane level of matches at the very end is absolutely fascinating. And yeah, as Rook already said it, just big shout outs to everyone involved making this happen. Big shout outs to the teams for making this so much fun, and thanks to LunarCon for having me. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yes, of course. It has been a great time having such talented casters. I wish I could put on such a good casting experience like you guys did, but you guys killed it and knocked it out of the park today. And we are so thankful for having you guys both here today. So thank you so much. Now,
pleasure.
Yeah, no problem at all. Lithy, any last, you're welcome, Ko. You're pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, how much can you compliment Ko right now, Lithy?
I don't know. Wait, let me just. No, never mind.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a second to say that there's been a lot of jokes in the community, but after being on the hosting desk with you so much this weekend, I just want you to know that you are not a little son to me. You're a big son. You're a big son, Ko.
I'm a big son, officially told by Rook. Thank you. I appreciate it so much, Rook. And Lithy, I guess, thank you for that as well.
Yeah, Ko is pretty handsome.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you've seen... Oh, you've probably seen me already because I showed my camera for a second. But yes, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's start with Brian. Brian, are you there?
Hello.
Brian, I want to say thank you for coming together and working with Garu for making such a great tournament. I know that in the past you were like pretty much the main person to work on all this, but this year I really want to bring in a lot of faces. And seeing you and Garu come together to put this whole entire tournament together made me so happy. As a person who really enjoys the PvP stuff, seeing the whole PvP community come together, because I think this is the biggest tournament we've had yet. And
Definitely,
also, and trust me, guys, it took a lot of work and we were stressed out a lot. But as you can see, with a bigger tournament, it came with such great casters, came with such great assets. Because, I mean, guys, can we give a huge props to Socks out there for creating all these cool assets of transitions and all that? It was really amazing. So, Brian, give us your thoughts on the whole tournament as a whole and how you felt about setting it all up and your entire experience with it.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much to you and the staff for having me back as an organizer. This is like the third year, so like very means a lot to me. You know, the first year we did a little feast tournament, which is like something planned, something planned like 1 month. Yeah. And then last year we got a Crystal Conflict tournament. It was a bit more hype and stuff, but now this was like a full production, having so many people involved, 16 teams. We had like 8 commentators. Oh my god, this was a big tournament. 150 people applied to be in this tournament.
Oh my gosh, that's so many people.
and we ended with 96 competitors to balance out the team. So thank you everyone who applied. Thank you everyone who played. It means a lot. It takes a lot of bravery to play in tournaments like this, especially on your first time. So thank you so much. Thank you to Garu for being the organizer with me. He did a lot of work, so much to make sure to I gotta give him a good big shout out.
Of course, and he'll get a second to talk. But before I do that, I want to quickly just thank all the PvP participants, all the commentators who were a part of this whole thing. You guys made this even more better, seeing all the skills being displayed of both knowledge of the game and just pretty much the skills of the players being executed right in front of us was amazing. Now, for Garu, our new blood of the LunarCon family who came in, who pretty much showed me more of the PvP world, I have to thank you so much for bringing me a part of this and showing me that there's a much more bigger community out there and how you guys are unifying everyone in the PvP community to come together and make this whole thing even better than before. So Garu, what do you have to say about everything that you've experienced so far?
Well, first off, thank you, Ko, and thank you to Crystal, for bringing me on and asking me to do this. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely interesting trying to blend all of the skill levels of the players who signed up. Like Brian said, there was like 150 people, and trying to sort everybody into teams that would put on a good performance when we came to the tournament day was a challenge, but it was fun in the end. Working through everything and all that other stuff. But I just wanted to definitely give a shout out to everybody who helped. Massive shout out to Socks. Socks for surely somewhere. If anybody Socks he can't put a link in. Crap. Let me see if I can find his Twitter while I'm talking.
I got the link. Sorry, don't worry.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yes.
But a massive shout out to Socks of reaching out to him and trying to throw all of the assets that you guys have seen for the PvP tournament at least together. Getting the music down and all that other stuff to make sure that we had something that we felt would be really nice to see, to try and show how much that we wanted to help with this tournament this year. Because like Ko said, I got brought in for this one to try and help and reach out to more of the bigger communities. And that's definitely my bad. No,
you're good.
It was a good time. I totally didn't think about the actual speech part of giving people a big shout out. But no, shout out to Socks, shout out to Audrey for coming in last minute. I didn't tell her what she had to do, but she was able to get the party finders here together and help us with that. Shout out to Merlin, giving it his shot at commentating. Shout out to Best Tea Maker, who definitely saved the day when we had that issue with the one stream having VODs not safe for some reason. Thankfully, he was locally, saving his the VOD just in case, so we were able to sort that out. Hopefully, everyone would watch that. So massive shout outs to him for streaming day 1 and also day 2 for Brian and Frosty. I think that's the majority of the people I just wanted to give a quick shout out to. One thing I did want to say is I'm starting to take up too much time.
No, go for it. The floor is yours.
Yeah. There is if you guys were liking this and you enjoyed this for like PvP tournament and you're also interested more in like PvP, there is a tournament coming out, a solo queue tournament coming out for Unify. Unify is like a organization of a lot of the big PvP communities. So I'll drop the sign up link. The sign up link. It's a solo queue tournament. The full details haven't been announced yet. They'll be coming out over the coming weeks, but it's going to be in December, on December 2nd and December 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern. There's probably going to be a requirement that you have to have gotten diamond rank in the past 3 seasons. So this was geared more towards higher level players. But it definitely should be a really fun time, and more details are going to be coming. Just want to give a quick little announcement to that. There's also other tournaments like, Paws and Claws. They have theirs for teams, for LP teams coming next weekend and the weekend after that to also watch. And then Vivian, who also commentated, special, big shout out to Vivian too. I almost forgot. She has her own tournament for more teams for another like LP thing. It's a 3-weekend thing, and it's going to be in November. So definitely, if you guys have liked watching this and you want to see more like community focused tournaments for PvP, there's going to be stuff coming up for the rest of the year. So definitely keep an eye out for that stuff.
Perfect. Thank you for all that. And also, once more, thank you to everyone who was a part of this. Let's start with the hosts one more time. Rook, where can they find you after all this is over?
Yes, absolutely. I'm Rook, or Rookery. That's ROOKURI. You can find me over on my own channel where I do content creation. I always play Final Fantasy XIV at least once a week, although I do a little variety and I enjoy MMOs as a genre. So I do a lot even in other MMOs, be it for commentating, hosting, or for other events too. But over on Rookery, you'll find Final Fantasy XIV at least once a week. I also am a co-host of 2 podcasts, one for Gamer Escape and Final Fantasy XIV, which is called Aetheryte Radio, and then one for Guild Wars 2, the Lightbringers podcast. And I do have my own YouTube channel, which is at Rookery again. You can find me on Twitter at Rookery_, and on Blue Sky, I guess now, once Twitter dies for real, at Rookery. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm doing it, it's been a little bit chaotic recently because we've had so many special events, which has been amazing, and so many other things, but I try as much as possible to just let everybody know where I'm going to be, when, and what channel, because I would love to see you, no matter the game, to talk about the games that we love and to share these experiences in any type of content that we enjoy in the worlds that we are a part of. So don't hesitate to come by sometime. I'd love to say hey.
Awesome. Thank you for all that. And I also want to just compliment how much you had that already. Usually when somebody tells me, hey, can I get a shout out or something at this point, I just say, find me on YouTube. Just type in Kogan. So I need to catch up my professional game on that a little bit more. Lithy, with you, where can they find you at?
Oh boy, yeah, you can just find me on Twitch, Lithy, just spelled the same, at Lithiara on Twitter, but I generally just do stream things all over the place, whatever I'm feeling like. A lot of World of Warcraft usually, some Final Fantasy here and there, but the most you'll probably find me on various channels and streams casting whatever esports people let me cast. So yeah, definitely follow me over on Twitter or Blue Sky if you want to stay up to date with all of that stuff. And yeah, otherwise, hey, if you are at FanFest London, definitely come say hi to both me and Rook. We'll be there. We'll be yelling at things. It's going to be awesome.
And by yelling at
So
things,
excited.
I mean they officially let us on the stage to yell at things, not just that we'll be sitting next to Yoshi P yelling for no reason on the floor during PvP. We'll be up there casting the CC, RC, EU, and Oceania. And if you haven't yet, please check out the VODs for that. Catch up on the teams. We'll do our best to get you all caught up as well during the actual finals, or semifinals and finals that we'll be doing over there. But catch up, learn about the teams, see the competitors. It's going to be just as exciting of a battle, and it'll be live in front of all of you and for those of you tuning in worldwide. So definitely show some support and some love so the PvP scene can keep growing.
All right. Thank you to both you guys for that then. Brian, where can they find you at, you lovable, handsome man?
Oh gosh. You can find me on twitch.tv/Brian Ricardo. I stream a ton of Final Fantasy XIV's PvP, but I do variety there. I do play some fighting games and shooter games. That's like my other passions in gaming. On Twitter, I am at Brian Ricardo, so I talk about streaming stuff, PvP as well, and cat pics sometimes if you like cats.
And they're good cat pigs, I will tell you that. Thank you, Brian. Thank
Oh,
you.
we both have like cute little black cats.
Oh, we do, yeah. We share it basically. Yeah. All right, and last but not least, Gary Kettle, Garuketo, whatever your name is. Where can they find you?
Me? I mean, they can find me at my the same name on like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I don't use any of those, but you can find me there.
Okay.
I would rather say you'd probably find me on the PV Primal more, the Discord, Discord GG/PV Primal. I probably spend more time there than I do on my own social media stuff. So.
Okay. All right, and that's where they can find you at? That's all?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Gary Garu, whatever your name is.
Thank you,
of course, last but not least, let's congratulate our winners of the CC tournament of LunarCon 2023. 9 lives. The winners, Aqua, Aeon, Cash, Finch, and of course, Ruja Thorn. Everybody, congratulations to them. And with that brings our tournament to a close. We will now go into the closing ceremony just shortly. And I hope to see the rest of you guys there when we make some, goodbyes and some possible big announcements. I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
And tears. People will cry. I know it already.
Yeah, we'll see. And, okay, person who's in front of me, hello. Goodbye. And with that said, see you guys in a bit for the closing ceremonies. Bye, guys.
Bye.